Welcome to another segment of Inclusion Unlimited. Please like, subscribe, and share this channel so we can spread our message of inclusion for people of all abilities. Well, today it is my pleasure to introduce you to three-time Paralympian who has taken home 2 gold medals, 4 silver medals, I should say, and 3 bronze medals in wheelchair track events. Ross Davis, an adaptive sports leader and event management professional, joins me now via Zoom from Southern Colorado. Hi, Ross.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I believe I read that you were born with a disability. Can you tell us a little bit about your disability?
Sure. I was born, I have a spinal cord injury, and that spinal cord injury is at T3 and it's from birth or before birth. So I was born with this spinal cord injury, and that, being born in the 60s, that was misdiagnosed. So I was diagnosed my entire life with cerebral palsy until I was in my 30s and had a full brain and spinal cord MRI and discovered that it wasn't really it wasn't a cerebral palsy or any kind of a brain issue. It was actually a spinal cord injury.
So, y-
So that kind of changed my whole life. It really didn't change anything. But I've never been able to walk. I've used crutches or wheelchairs or some type of device to get around my whole life.
you are a three-time Paralympian athlete. That is fascinating to me, and oh my gosh, congratulations. Tell us, how did you get involved in athletics?
Well, I always wanted to play, and I wasn't able to whenever I was in high school. There weren't adaptive sports programs, there weren't inclusive programs. I was actually one of the first kids in Amarillo to go into public schools with a disability. They didn't know what to do. My second teacher actually looked at me and told my mom to get him out of here. That I can't, I'm not going to be in the class. So, um, I had to fight. My mom went to the principal and stayed in school. I stayed in school and went to an inclusion, or I was actually included. And I just, it wasn't because there was a program to do it. It was because my mom wouldn't drive me across town. And it's like she wanted me to go to that school. So they kind of had to take me. So, I wasn't able to play sports in school and middle school. I kind of still couldn't play, still didn't have programs. So I became a trainer and a manager for the basketball team. So I was part of the basketball team, football team, track team. And I did that all throughout middle school and high school until I got to Texas Tech. And at Tech, I was invited to play wheelchair basketball for the very first time. And whenever that happened, I sat down in a wheelchair for the first time to play a sport, and the playing field was equal. So I just started playing basketball. I went and got a basketball chair, raised enough money to buy a basketball chair, and that just kind of started it and changed my entire life, my whole perspective of what I was able to achieve physically.
How important are parasports?
It's it changed my life. I mean, everybody, if you have a physical disability, you're always looking for a way to succeed. And sports teaches you that. It teaches you that if you do the little thing, you can get where you want to go. If you wake up every day and you train, or if you push the hills, you push the miles, you're going to get there. You're going to get where you want to be. And so it really teaches you how to put forth the effort that it takes to to do what you got to do. And if you have some type of disabling condition, or you're may be missing a leg or whatever, you've got to figure it out. You just got to push yourself. And that's kind of our little, maybe on the other side, but our slogan is push harder, reach higher. And that's just the truth. The harder you push, the more you achieve. And the more you push yourself to greatness, that's where you're going to be. It's, if you can imagine it, you can do it. You just have to do it.
Well, you did it. You are a Paralympic athlete. Tell us about that experience and how difficult was it to actually get a place in the Paralympics?
Well, my first games was 1992. Um, so it was a little bit different then than it is now. Like, I actually had to go and raise money. I had to raise about $4,000 just to be a part of the Paralympic team. So that was really more the struggle than making the team, was actually just trying to financially be able to do that and make training and make all the trips and to pay for all of that. That, a lot of that has changed now. Athletes, when you get into the Paralympic pipeline, you're actually funded, and you have health insurance and some training stipends, and travel is covered. So there's a lot more money now for athletes than there was when I was racing at the beginning.
As there should be. And I know that you have a passion for sports way beyond your own accomplishments. You actually have dedicated a big portion of your life to helping other para athletes.
Yeah, we've that was my change in career. I was started in architecture at Texas Tech. That's what my degree plan was. And after I found racing, I loved it. And I didn't do so well in school for a little while. I failed out of school, and that actually helped me go back and get coaching and get racing. And whenever I found racing, that actually helped me go back to school. And I went back and got a degree in therapeutic recreation so I could work with people with disabilities. So,
Now,
from about 90s on, I worked with people. I worked at Warm Springs. It was actually in San Antonio, Warm Springs Rehabilitation Hospital. That's why I moved to San Antonio, was for a job there. Um, so I worked with that program, and then I got into able-bodied sports and worked with San Antonio Sports for 18 years.
all right, let's talk about the Texas Para Sports Games because they're actually coming right here to San Antonio next month, and
Yeah.
you're very involved in it. So tell us, what can people expect?
Well, the Texas Parasport Games, it's Texas Parasport is a nonprofit organization, and we promote the Paralympic pipeline throughout the state of Texas. This is our signature event. It's the biggest event that we do. We'll have over 300, between 300, 350 participants, all with physical disabilities that get together and compete. And I believe we have 9 different sports. Um, there's track and field, there's swimming, there's archery, air guns, um, powerlifting, rowing, and some others. Well, quite a few others. I just can't think. Bocce is one. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of sports, and people with disabilities who have trained, they take this as an opportunity to get to have a good competition. But we also have people who have never done anything before, that they can come out and enjoy the games and try to see if competition is something that's for them, see
Now,
what it's like.
do you encourage people, anybody who's watching, to come out and support the athletes and watch and attend? Does it cost anything? How can you do that?
No, it's free. It's free for the public to come watch. We will have volunteers. You can visit texasparasport.org, and there you can get a link to the Texas Parasport Games. But you go online, we need volunteers. We need spectators. I mean, if you want to be inspired and you want to kind of, if you want to watch some people get out and do something that is going to inspire you, because they're doing things that you can't do, and they're doing it without legs.
You know,
So if you want to
that
be inspired, get out and do it. Get out and come see the games.
I have seen some of these before, and I've got to tell you, it does move you, but it also does inspire, exactly like you're saying, because this isn't about, oh, let's go watch. It's these are athletes. They work really hard, and the competition is
Absolutely.
fierce.
Yeah, no, I mean, when I was training, I trained 6 hours a day, 6 days a week. It's not it wasn't for fun. It was for success. It was, I had a mission. And I think that that's what a lot of athletes here have. They're on a mission, and they train, work, and you get to see the results of that.
Well, I understand that the Hartford is a big supporter of these, and they actually have an awards luncheon where they give someone or several people an award or
Right.
a grant. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. The One of the biggest hurdles for an athlete is equipment. It's expensive, whether it's a wheelchair or basketball chairs. Chairs have gone, when I first started, it was around $2,000 for a good chair. And now it's $10,000 for
Oh,
the premium sports chair, whether it's a basketball chair, tennis chair, racing chair. You're throwing down 10 grand. If you want to buy archery equipment, shooting equipment, it's very, very expensive and cost prohibitive for most. So the Hartford, along with Move United, they provide a equipment grant to emerging athletes. So they choose. We submit a lot of different athletes, or actually the athletes submit, and then they're chosen. And it's typically between 4 and 5, 6 athletes, depending on what they win
that's awesome.
or
I
what
can't
equipment
wait.
they need.
And
Yeah.
Morgan's, obviously, Morgan Sports, Morgan's Wonderland, all of us, just Wonderland in general, very involved in this. And we're going to talk to Brooke Matula next time about Morgan's involvement in all of this. But I have a question for you before we go. First of all, how do people learn more? I think you said it's Texas Parasportsgames.com. Is that correct? Where you can get the schedule and
Correct.
everything?
Yeah,
And
TexasParasportGames.com is the link to the event. And then TexasParasport.org is the nonprofit organization.
Give a message to people who are watching. What we're trying to do with this whole show is to kind of bridge the separation and gap between individuals who don't have a disability and individuals who do have disabilities and bring them together and make it inclusive. Why should people who aren't disabled care about any of this?
Hey, you might learn something. You might learn something and might get inspired. Um, the thing is, I just wanted to be normal. And I think that's the way most kids with disabilities, they want to engage. They want to do what everybody else is doing. And that's what we're trying to do, is to provide that opportunity for participants to do what everyone else does, and for people to come watch and see that, you know, it's not just success in a sport, but a success in a sport without a leg and with an, a prosthesis or a wheelchair or some adaptive equipment. So it's even harder than real sport, an able-bodied sport. You're looking at a very difficult sport, and it's fun to watch.
Well, it is fun to watch, and I wish luck to all of the athletes who are taking part, and I encourage everyone to visit the website, TexasParasportGames.com, find out the schedule, and please go out and support everybody. Ross, thank you so much, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. We'll see you then.
And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, where we will introduce you to Brooke Matula, who I just mentioned. She's our Sports and Recreational Therapy Director for Morgan's, and she's going to talk about our involvement in the Texas Parasport Games. We'll see you then.